Welcome back to the Culture of Currency, where we've got our Wall Street Journal, we've got our coffee, and we can go ahead and get started to see what happened this week in the world when it comes to our market and how that may have affected our gold, our silver, our copper, and any other type of metal of note that this particular paper likes to track. So it was an interesting week. It started off decent, as many of you know, and then we saw a little bit of a plunge there at the end of the week, which has a lot of people wondering why the sell-off. Well, we have some ideas here in this paper, but we do have one thing right here on the front page worth your attention. Buffett right here. He is hoarding lots of cash, raising eyebrows on Wall Street. Warren Buffett is somebody who consistently over his time in investing would make bold moves, and everyone would kind of be like, what is this guy doing, and why is he doing it, and what does he know that we don't? And then, something would happen, and he would make a lot of money off of something. So maybe there's something to do with lots of cash. In fact, by the way, on Tuesday, I'll have a video about cash versus digital payments. And so if you are interested in how banks make money off of you using things like credit and debit cards, and or the difference between a society that is run on cash versus credit cards and debit cards, then that might be an interesting video for you. But we move on to our favorite thing, the exchange. The exchange is where we find all of our market data. This is about Ferrari, which is really cool, but not what we're looking for. Alrighty, so let me zoom in here, and just like last week, as you can see, I went ahead and traced in pink so it's easier for you to see what these markets have done, just so you get a better understanding. And yes, you can see right here as we look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average that it still is trending quite a bit in the upward category. This is a macro look here from December all the way till now. And then this curving top one is kind of like the week. So as you see, a big drop here, I put in a parenthesis. That is what happened there right at the end of the week. And we saw a large decline. And that decline was really spurred by a couple of big companies taking some hits, 1% to 2% in those. So that is going to be things like Tesla, who made a pretty big, significant drop there at the end. Not to say that it's not going to come back up. It very well could and probably will. But that's one. The AI chip maker NVIDIA was another one due to their quarterly results. They dropped 4%. And I think Tesla dropped around 5%. Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, which is Google, Amazon, Meta, Broadband, which is AVGO, they also kind of took a step back. So those are big in the tech sector and that type of thing, and they took a big hit. And because they have so much market cap, everybody's affected. So if you're, running to buy all the wheat you can and eggs, and no, you don't have to do all that. This is a roller coaster, and you're only going to get hurt if you get off before the ride is over. All right, S&P 500 index right here, as you can see, still on the trend up, though it did take a little tumble. Right there, same rules apply. The S&P is the top 500 companies, so if you have some of the bigger companies within the S&P taking a 4%, 5% hit, then yeah, we're going to see a drop. In fact, I believe this is the biggest drop since October of last year. And what do you know? October was a long time ago, and we have grown quite a bit since then. So yes, we're probably going to start rising back up here shortly. Sometimes these things keep going down before they go up, and sometimes they just have a correction and they go right back up. I don't know what to expect, but those are things that I have noticed in the past. All right, NASDAQ Composite. Once again, very large chunk here at the end, but our trend is still quite a bit high. So it'll be interesting to see next week. Do we have a rebound in these? Do we see it kind of go down and then pop back up? Do we have a good week, a bad week? I don't know. Because anytime there's instability like this, there's also opportunity. So if somebody says, hey, I can go get 5% discount on Tesla stock right now, I'm going to go buy in thinking that it's going to rise again, then they do that. and then we see these things correct because we have a supply and demand market, and a lot of supply hit the Wall Street whenever the markets were closing, and so there'll be a lot of supply on the table for those shares whenever Monday rolls around, and it'll be interesting to see how those shares either get scooped up or left on the table. All right, so how did we do this week? Let's look at our winners and losers. My favorite part. On top again, we have natural gas, just on a tear, 13% in the natural gas sector. Fantastic there. COMEX Gold, looky here. Gold's on top again, almost 2%. That's, I think, 3 or 4 weeks in a row we've seen rises in gold. We come down, S&P Utilities Index right there, not far behind. S&P Healthcare right there, 1%. We have consumer staples. That's good for buying, but it's not the only metric we look at. Silver on top again, 0.5% there. We see for silver, it's really nice if you are somebody who is a stacker, if you are somebody who is trying to buy silver because they love it like me. It still kind of hurts because you're paying a lot of money just to have access to these things, which we love. Everything else here is pretty straightforward. I'll go slow in case there's something that interests you until we get to the negatives here, which is right here. That's our line of demarcation. We start to get to the negative. And in the negative, we see the Canadian dollar and the USA dollar kind of even here. I know we've had some tension here in this area. And so that being said, they're still pretty much tied with their value here. We have crude oil right there, negative 0.4, so just almost a 0.5 percentile. We keep going down, and we've got copper. Copper's having a rough one again. They were up for the last couple of weeks, so copper, sorry, but you're down 2%. So all of you that love the copper thing, that's a good thing for you buyers. If you think that copper is going to be something investable, well, they had a hard week again, and that's okay. Gasoline right here, you can see negative 3%, and looky here at consumer discretionary, negative 4%. That's interesting. So I'm going to hopefully see that grow because that's something we want to make sure grows because that's people going out and buying and things like that. So that is what we have for this week's market report. Did you see anything you like? Let me know in the comments below. Obviously, copper not having a good day. Silver, great day. Gold had a great day. Great week. So if those are things that you have, then good for you. If you have a lot of copper, well, not so good, but luckily it's not really all that much difference because copper is not as, valuable as an ounce of silver or gold. So that being said, that's what we have. Please check out Tuesday's video that talks about the banks and how the banks make money off of you using their digital platforms and what would happen if society went 75% cash transaction versus what it does today, which is roughly the same in digital currency. I think that the last report I saw was around 16% of our economy is cash-based. So that being said, what would happen? What would that look like? But that's what we have for you today. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.